Well, it's never given me that before. We are recording now. And so we're going to sing a couple of songs and then we'll get started. We've got several boys and girls already joined our Zoom call, and we may have some more come in. So if I have to pause and let somebody in, you'll know what's going on. Miss Tanya's got a tickle in her throat tonight, so hopefully we can sing. There is a picture behind me that is the whole world. So we're going to sing He's Got the Whole World in His Hands, and then we're going to sing one that we haven't sung yet, but I think it's one you guys will know. So here we go. He's got the whole world in his hands. 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 He's got the mommies and the daddies in his hands. He's got the mommies and the daddies in his hands. He's got the mommies and the daddies in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the brothers and the sisters in his hands. He's got the brothers and the sisters in his hands. He's got the brothers and the sisters in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the little bitty babies in his hands. He's got the little bitty babies in his hands. He's got the little bitty babies in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. Nice and loud. He's got everybody here in his hands. He's got everybody here in his hands. He's got everybody here in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. Very good. Okay, I'm going to let Heidi in. And then we are going to sing This Little Light, because that's one of the things we're talking about tonight with our lanterns and our lights. So we're going to sing that one. So everybody get your light out. I can remember which one. I sing this song two different ways, so I have to remember which tune to use. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. That's not the right tune. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, oh yeah. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bushel, no, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All around the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the neighborhood, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Don't let Satan it out, I'm gonna let it shine. Don't let Satan it out, I'm gonna let it shine. Don't let Satan it out, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, oh yeah. Good job. I saw you shining your lights, and that's one thing we're talking about tonight.
Got mixed up with our arms.
Got mixed up with your arms. That's all right. When you're shining your light, sometimes you might bump into somebody else that's shining their light, but that's okay. Okay, if you want to unmute now, you can. We're going to just talk about our story. Just remember to be really quiet unless you're answering a question so that everybody can hear. So last week, we talked about when Jesus went back up to heaven. Sometimes that's called ascending. And there's a picture. I don't know if you can see it very well. He was on a hillside with his disciples, and he was talking to them, and he just started rising up in the air and disappeared into the clouds. Where did he go? Where was he going?
Heaven.
He went back to heaven. That's right. He went back to heaven to be with God. That's where he was from. And that's where he is. But is he ever coming back again?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. The angels told the people who were there watching him that they could get busy doing the job that Jesus gave them to do, not to just stand there watching, but that one day he would return the same way he left. Would that be cool to see? If you saw Jesus coming back down through the clouds, how cool would that be? And someday it will happen. It may not be while we're still alive, but someday it will happen. Now, we talked about this a little bit last week. And before Jesus did go back up into heaven, he gave his disciples a job to do. And that job is something that he wants us to do too. So let's do our Bible verse, because these are actually the words that Jesus said to his disciples before he went back to heaven. So say this with me, or repeat it after me. Go make disciples.
Go make disciples.
Okay, you guys are going to have to unmute for me to be able to hear you. A lot of people are still,
Make disciples.
there you go, of all nations,
Of all nations.
baptizing them
Baptizing them
in the name of the Father
in the name of the Father
and of the Son
and of the Son
and of the Holy Spirit.
and of the Holy Spirit.
Be sure to teach them
Be sure to teach them
to obey everything I've commanded you.
to obey everything I commanded you.
And surely I am with you
And surely I am with you
always,
always
to the very end of the age.
to the very end of the age.
All right, very good. So that's what he told his disciples. He said, you guys know about me because I've been teaching you and I've been telling you what to do to be good followers. We learned about helping and sharing and caring for people and those kind of things, praying. He had taught his disciples how to be good followers. He had showed them the power that he had. And now he said, I'm going away, but I'll still be with you. And you guys need to get busy telling other people about me. Now it said on there in that verse, it said to all nations. And that's kind of what my bulletin board is tonight. The light's kind of glaring on it a little bit, but maybe you can see it. I've got the world up here, and I've got lots of boys and girls around this world. And they are dressed up in clothes that would be like traditional clothes from their country. It's probably not the things they would wear every day. But let's see if we can figure out where some of these boys and girls might be from. Let's look at this girl. Can you see her well enough? Can anybody see what she's got on to tell where she might be from? Let me take her off and put her closer to the picture. What does that look like?
A blue.
A what? She's got something around her neck that's kind of a clue to where she might be from.
A garden.
From Hawaii, from a garden, okay? From Hawaii. A lot of times people in Hawaii wear those flowers around their neck. Do people in Hawaii need to know about Jesus?
Yeah.
They do. Let's see. Oh, how about this little boy? Can you look at his clothes and tell me where you think he might be from?
A farm.
A farm? Okay.
A farm.
He could be from a farm. Look at his big hat. It's called a sombrero. Does anybody know where people wear sombreros?
No.
No, in Mexico. This little boy has clothes on that look like he might be from Mexico. Do people in Mexico need to know about Jesus?
Yes.
Yes, they do. How about, let's look at this little girl. Look at the clothes she has on. Where do you think she might live?
In snow.
In snow,
Arctic.
somewhere very, very
Arctic.
cold. You're right. I don't know exactly what country that might be, but somewhere very, very cold because she's all dressed up for the cold weather. Do people that live in countries that have cold weather need to know about Jesus?
Yes.
Yes. Let's do one more. Oh, I bet you can get this one. Can you guess what from the clothes that this person has on where they might be from?
No.
Maybe, huh?
No.
Maybe from China or Japan. This is kind of the traditional clothes that they would wear in those countries. They probably don't wear these kind of clothes much now, but do people in China need to know about Jesus?
Yes.
Yes, they do. So people all over the world need to know about Jesus. And there's several ways that we do that. Has anybody ever heard of a missionary?
No.
It's a big fancy word, but what it means is somebody that goes to somewhere that they don't normally live to tell people about Jesus. And we have missionaries that our church helps to pay to support them so that they can go to those countries and tell people about Jesus. And that's important. Jesus said you need to go all over the world and tell people about Jesus.
Do it.
But we don't have to go all over the world to necessarily tell people about Jesus. Do people who live in Arkansas need to know about Jesus?
Yes.
Yes. Sydney, do people who live in Texas need to know about Jesus?
Yeah.
Yes, they do. And Jesus said we can tell people about Jesus just every day, just the way we talk, the way we act. We can tell them how Jesus came to this earth to fix the big disaster and how much he loved us and all the things we've been talking about. And that is called good news. Good news that Jesus fixed the big disaster and made a way for us to be with God again. Now, there's a couple of other Bible verses that I want to read to you that are things that Jesus said when he was still here. One of the days when he was out on the hillside teaching people, this is something he said. He said, "You are the light of the world. So let your light shine before men so they can see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven." Now, does Jesus mean that we're like a flashlight?
No.
No, we're not that kind of light. If you put me in a dark room and turn off all the lights, I don't shine like a light. So what was he talking about when he said we were the light of the world?
Our
What is he?
love.
Huh?
Our love of the world.
Because we love people. That's right. And when we love people, we're showing them Jesus. So the things we do and the way we act and the things we say, that's how we're the light of the world. And that's how we tell people the good news about Jesus. Very good. You guys have listened really well. It's kind of a short story tonight, but I want to talk to you about your activities. And then I've got a couple of little announcements to make. Okay, so your worksheet is a maze. I always like these. I usually use my finger before I use my crayon so that if I mess up, it doesn't make a mark. But we're trying to show this little girl how to get all the way down here to the picture of Jesus.
I don't have this.
And as you go down the path, you're going to pass over some letters. And if you write those letters in this blank right here, you're going to learn what Jesus is, what it is when we tell people about Jesus. So that's your worksheet. Let me tell you about your craft real quick. Your snack real quick, and then we'll do your craft because it's kind of bigger. I know Kingston's already done his, but so in your bag, you should have a little bitty bag that's got a couple of little cookies in it.
Mm-hmm.
And these cookies are shaped kind of like what? What is that shaped like?
Gingerbread man.
A gingerbread man. Do you think that, did we talk about gingerbread men in our story tonight?
No, but it represents people.
We talked about people, didn't we? We talked about how we want to tell people about Jesus. And that's why we have gingerbread men for our snack tonight. We want to make sure we tell people about Jesus. And if you happen to meet a gingerbread man, you can tell him about Jesus too, but I think they're just pretend. All righty. So then we're going to talk about your craft. And this is what it will look like when you're done. Now, Kingston already was putting his together, but I'm going to show you how to put it together. This is kind of like an old-fashioned lantern. I used to make these a lot when I was a little girl. I had a lot of fun making these all different colors, and I would hang them from the ceiling. You can make them. They're real easy to make. So, and we're talking about it because what can you see through the little cracks in the lantern?
Light.
You see light?
Light.
It's really just a piece of paper, but it's meant to be light. And if it was a real lantern, it would be light. And it would be like letting our light shine. So in your bag, you should have a piece of paper that looks like this. It might be a different color, and it's got lots of little cut places in it. So you're going to take that, and you don't have to do it right now, but you're going to take that, and you're going to wind it around until it makes a thing like that. See, I just took it, opened it up, and made a little circle with it until it looks like that. And then you can use tape, or you can use staples, or whatever you've got at your house, glue, and fasten that together. So I'm going to fasten mine together real quick. I'm just going to do it kind of at the top and at the bottom because it'll stay together pretty well, just like that. And that makes the outside part of the lantern.
What's the inside on it?
All right, so then you should have it. It's kind of cool because it does like this. Then you should have a piece of yellow paper that's longer on one side than it is on the other side. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to take the longer side, keep the short side up and down, and take the longer side and make it into a circle where you can see through it like that. Don't necessarily fasten it together just yet, because what you want to do is you want to put that yellow piece of paper down inside your other piece of paper, because that's what makes it be like the light. And once you get it in there, it might get a little fatter. And then you can fasten that inside so that it will stay in place. I am not doing a very good job of that. See through it with your eye like that. So now my lantern doesn't go up and down quite as easy because that yellow holds it in place, but that yellow is the light. And then if you want to, you don't have to, you should have one more little piece of paper, and you can use it to make a little handle on the top. Just kind of put it in there like that and fasten it in. Oops, you can't see it when I turn it that way. And that just makes it easier to carry or hang up somewhere. It's kind of fun sometimes to hang them up from your ceiling where your air conditioner vent is. And then when the air conditioner comes on, it'll just make it blow back and forth like that. Sometimes when you have a picnic outside, you can make a bunch of them and hang them across, and they'll just be decorations. Kingston is having fun with his right now. So that's your lantern to make us remember to let our light shine, which doesn't mean a real light. It means showing Jesus to other people by the way we act, the things we do, and the things we say. Being kind to other people, being loving to other people. That's how we show Jesus. All right. I think that's about it for tonight. You guys have been a great, great class all the way back to when we started with the big disaster. Some of you have been with me the whole time, and I have really, really enjoyed it. Now, tonight is our last Zoom call. Starting this Sunday at church during church service, they will be having the Children's Bible Hour. So you guys will get to start having that again. What we used to call peak, same thing, but it's going to be the same during that time. And then there will be some special things happening on Wednesday nights during the summer, and just different things. And I think Miss Tina said she sent out a letter today to talk about that. So tell Mom and Dad to be watching for that in the mail, and you'll know what all's going on. And then next fall, assuming we don't have this silly virus come back, next fall, we'll be back in the classroom, and Miss Tanya will be teaching again. And if you are still in pre-K4 or kindergarten, you'll be in my class again, and I'll get to see you and teach you in person. If you're going into first grade, you'll be moving up to Faith in Action, which is a really, really fun class too. So, and Cindy and Barrett won't be there because they are moving to Texas, but they will have a fun class to be in Texas, I'm sure. All right, I'm going to count down, and we'll say goodbye to the boys and girls that might watch online. And then I'm going to make my screen little so I can see who all's here tonight. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Bye. See you next time.